What if I told you that most of what you've been taught about attraction is a lie? That chasing approval, showing off, or trying to prove yourself is not only ineffective, it's repelling. Real attraction doesn't come from what you do, it comes from who you are at your core. Today, I'm giving you the roadmap that high-value men have used for centuries to attract women effortlessly. Watch this video until the very end, because every single minute will reshape the way you see relationships, yourself, and the world. Comment below right now, I'm ready to master myself. Attraction is misunderstood. You've been told to be louder, flashier, and more aggressive. But tell me this, has that ever truly worked? Or does it leave you feeling drained, unfulfilled, and frustrated? The truth is, women aren't drawn to what's loud, they're drawn to what's powerful. And power doesn't shout, power doesn't chase. Power draws people in like gravity. You're here because you want to understand how high-value men can walk into a room, say almost nothing, and yet command attention effortlessly. It's not magic, it's a combination of ancient wisdom and modern strategy. And if you're tired of feeling like you have to prove yourself, tired of chasing and being ignored, this is the wake-up call you've been waiting for. Number 1. Emotional presence. Most men are invisible, not because they're unworthy, but because they don't understand how to truly exist in someone else's world. You can have the perfect jawline, a fat bank account, or a fancy car, but if you're absent in her presence, none of it matters. Women don't just see you, they feel you. If your energy doesn't command attention, you might as well not be in the room at all. And let's be clear, emotional presence isn't a soft skill. It's the foundation of dominance. It's the one thing that separates the men who attract effortlessly from the ones who beg for scraps of attention. When you hear the term emotional presence, it's easy to dismiss it as some abstract concept, but it's as tangible as the air you breathe. Imagine a lion in the wild. He doesn't roar to assert himself. He simply exists with a power so undeniable that everything around him responds instinctively. That's emotional presence. It's not about speaking more, trying harder, or doing more. It's about commanding attention without asking for it. Women are biologically wired to detect this energy, and when they feel it, they can't ignore it. But here's the reality. Most men are drowning in distractions. You're glued to your phone, chasing validation through likes and comments, and you've forgotten how to simply be present. You scroll through her Instagram, overanalyzing her every post, trying to craft the perfect DM, hoping she'll notice you. But while you're busy chasing, she's busy looking for the man who doesn't need to chase. The man who can sit across from her, look her in the eyes, and make her feel seen without uttering a word. The power of emotional presence lies in its simplicity. It's not about impressing her with your resume or showering her with compliments. It's about showing her, through your actions and energy, that you are in control of yourself. Let me paint you a picture. You're sitting at a cafe with her. She's telling you about her day, and most men would nod absent-mindedly, interjecting with "wow" or "that's crazy," while secretly rehearsing their next response. But the high-value man does something different. He leans in slightly, maintains steady eye contact, and listens, not just to her words, but to the emotions behind them. When she pauses, he lets the silence hang for a moment, allowing her to feel that he's fully there with her. This isn't about manipulation, it's about intention. Women aren't used to being heard. They're used to being talked at by men who are more focused on proving themselves than understanding her. When you give her the gift of your undivided attention, it's like a drug. She can't get enough of it. And here's the kicker. It's not just about her. Emotional presence is something you cultivate for yourself first. Because a man who is fully present in his own life, who doesn't let his mind wander to 1,000 places, is unshakable. He becomes the calm in the storm, the anchor in a chaotic world, and that is irresistibly attractive. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the modern man's addiction to distraction. Everywhere you look, there's noise. Social media, endless notifications, shallow conversations. You're so used to multitasking that you've forgotten how to focus. But focus is the backbone of emotional presence. If you can't give your full attention to a single moment, you'll never command respect, let alone attraction. Women crave men who make them feel special, and the irony is that you don't need to do anything extravagant to achieve this. You just need to be there. Here's a practical exercise to start cultivating emotional presence. The next time you're in a conversation, put your phone away, completely away, not just face down on the table. Maintain eye contact and allow her words to sink in before responding. Pay attention to the way her tone changes, the subtle shifts in her body language, the pauses she takes. These are the moments where real connection happens. And when you do respond, speak deliberately. Every word should carry weight. Stop filling the silence with meaningless chatter. Silence is not your enemy, it's your ally. Emotional presence isn't just about the way you interact with her, it's about the way you interact with yourself. Think about this. How can you be present for her if you can't even be present for yourself? When was the last time you sat alone with your thoughts, without distractions, and really confronted what's going on inside you? Most men avoid this because it's uncomfortable. But this discomfort is where growth happens. If you want to be the man who walks into a room and owns it without saying a word, you need to start by owning your own mind. Women are masters at sensing when a man is out of alignment. They can tell when your confidence is fake, when your energy is scattered, and when your presence is superficial. But when you've done the work, when you've faced your own demons and come out the other side, that energy radiates from you. You don't need to announce it, she'll feel it. And let's be unapologetically honest. Modern relationships are a battlefield. Women have options. They're constantly being bombarded by men vying for their attention, each one trying harder than the last. If you're just another face in the crowd, desperately shouting, "Pick me," you've already lost. The high-value man doesn't compete. He doesn't need to, because he knows that attraction is not about being the loudest or the flashiest. It's about being the most grounded. Here's something that will completely shift your mindset. Emotional presence is not just about her, it's about everyone around you. When you cultivate this skill, it affects the way your friends see you, the way your colleagues respect you, and the way strangers react to you. It's the difference between being forgettable and being unforgettable. But remember, this isn't a quick fix. Emotional presence is a practice, a discipline. It requires you to unlearn years of bad habits and rewire the way you approach every interaction. Start small. Practice being present in everyday situations, when you're at the grocery store, when you're talking to a cashier, when you're with your family. Make it a habit to give your full attention to every moment. And here's the reward. When you master emotional presence, you won't just attract women, you'll attract respect, opportunities, and a sense of fulfillment that no amount of external validation can give you. Women will notice not because you're doing anything flashy, but because your energy speaks louder than words. Number 2, confidence and authenticity. Confidence is not something you wear, it's something you embody. It's not found in your bank account, your biceps, or your ability to deliver a perfect one-liner. True confidence radiates from within, and here's the brutal truth. Most men don't have it. What they have is a shaky facade, a performance they hope will fool others. But women are not easily fooled. They are wired to see beyond the surface. They don't just hear your words, they feel the energy behind them. And if that energy reeks of insecurity, no amount of external effort can hide it. Confidence is rooted in self-respect. If you don't respect yourself, why would anyone else? Women are drawn to men who carry themselves with certainty, men who don't need to seek approval because they already know their worth. But here's where most men go wrong. They try to manufacture confidence by chasing external validation. They think, if I can just get her to like me, I'll feel good about myself. But this mindset is a trap. It's weak, and women can sense it. True confidence comes from mastering yourself. It's about setting standards for your life and refusing to compromise on them. It's about knowing your value so deeply that rejection doesn't faze you. Think about this. When a woman turns you down, does it crush you? Does it make you question your worth? If the answer is yes, then your confidence isn't real. It's conditional, and conditional confidence is fragile. It crumbles the moment it's tested. Here's the reality. A high-value man doesn't chase. He doesn't beg for attention or validation. He doesn't need to. Why? Because he understands that his value isn't determined by how others perceive him. It's determined by the way he perceives himself. When you know who you are and what you bring to the table, you stop trying to prove yourself. And that's when people start paying attention. Let's talk about authenticity, because this is where most men fall flat. They think confidence means acting tough or pretending to be someone they're not. But fake confidence is easy to spot, and it's a major turnoff. Authenticity, on the other hand, is magnetic. It's about owning who you are, flaws and all. It's about showing up as your true self, not as the version you think will impress her. Women are not looking for perfection. They're looking for realness. A man who is authentic doesn't try to hide his weaknesses. He doesn't pretend to have it all figured out. Instead, he embraces his imperfections and uses them as a source of strength. Authenticity says, "This is who I am, and I'm not afraid to show it." And that kind of honesty is rare in today's world. Here's a scenario to consider. You're on a date, and she asks you about your biggest failure. Most men would dodge the question or try to spin it into something positive, hoping to save face. But a confident, authentic man would own it. He'd say, "I failed at this, and it taught me X, Y, and Z." That kind of vulnerability doesn't make you weak, it makes you human, and humanity is deeply attractive. Modern relationships are a mess because men have been conditioned to suppress their authenticity. Social media, dating apps, and society's endless pressure to conform have made men afraid to show who they really are. You post the highlight reel of your life, hoping it will make you look better. But deep down, you feel empty because you know it's not the whole truth. Women don't fall for your Instagram feed. They fall for the man behind it. Here's a hard pill to swallow. Confidence without authenticity is manipulation. It's pretending to be something you're not to get what you want. And manipulation may work in the short term, but it will never lead to genuine connection. Women are not drawn to the man who tries to control the narrative. They are drawn to the man who lets the truth speak for itself. To cultivate real confidence, start by identifying what makes you insecure. What are you afraid people will see if they look too closely? Once you've identified it, own it. Stop hiding from it. Face it head on. When you confront your insecurities, you take away their power. And when you take away their power, you become unstoppable. Confidence and authenticity go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. A man who is truly confident doesn't need to shout it from the rooftops. His actions, his presence, and his energy say it all. He walks into a room and commands respect, not because he demands it, but because he embodies it. Women are biologically wired to seek strength in a partner, but strength doesn't mean arrogance. It doesn't mean dominance. True strength is quiet. It's the ability to remain calm under pressure, to stand firm in your values, and to show compassion without losing your edge. A high-value man understands this balance. He's strong but kind, confident but humble, authentic but unapologetic. In today's dating landscape, women have endless options. They're approached by countless men, each trying to outdo the last. But here's the truth. Most men are playing the same game. They're trying to impress her with flashy gestures, clever lines, or shallow displays of status. And while those things might catch her attention for a moment, they won't keep it. What keeps her attention is a man who stands out from the crowd, a man who isn't playing the game because he's already won. That man is confident, not because of what he has, but because of who he is. He doesn't need to prove his worth because he already knows it. And when you know your worth, you become a magnet for the things and the people you desire. The key to attracting women isn't about being the loudest, the richest, or the most impressive. It's about being the most grounded. It's about showing her, through your actions, that you are a man who knows who he is, what he wants, and what he stands for. And when you embody that kind of certainty, you don't need to chase. Women will come to you because they can't resist the energy you bring. Number 3. The power of mystery. Most men sabotage themselves before they even start by oversharing and laying their cards on the table too early. You think that by telling her everything about yourself, you're building trust. You think that if you're an open book, she'll appreciate your honesty and give you her full attention. But the harsh reality is this. Mystery is what keeps a woman intrigued. The moment you reveal everything, the intrigue dies, and with it, her interest. Women crave curiosity. They want to discover you piece by piece, like unraveling a story that keeps them turning the pages, unable to put the book down. When you make yourself too available, too predictable, you're robbing her of the excitement she's wired to seek. Mystery isn't about deception. It's not about playing games or creating a false persona. It's about mastering the art of subtlety. It's about knowing when to hold back, when to let her wonder, and when to let her come to you. The men who truly captivate women aren't the ones who shout their achievements from the rooftops or dominate the conversation with endless stories about themselves. They're the ones who leave just enough unsaid to keep her intrigued. They give her glimpses into their world, but never the full picture. Think about this. Women are naturally inquisitive. They're hardwired to seek depth, to analyze, to uncover. If you hand her everything on a silver platter, you're taking away her chance to explore you. And without that exploration, there's no emotional investment.